America.
Will Donald Trump honor the results of the 2024 election? Corey, can you say that Haitian migrants are not eating pets in Springfield? Can you say that?
You know what I can say, Jim? I can say that 13,099 murderers were let into this country, 16,000 rapists, 425,000 people in the last 4 years.
Hello, everybody. As you can see there, Corey Lewandowski freaking out, stuttering all over his words. But this is calls for if you want to be part of the cult, right? If you want to be part of the MAGA cult, this is the game you have to play. And of course, they're trying to gum up the works already in Georgia as far as the election. They're going to try to steal it again. You hear Trump, he hasn't stopped for the past 4 years saying that the election was stolen and that this election will be stolen. If he loses, of course, only if he loses. This is really gross stuff. This is who he surrounds himself with, right? And as you can see on that little second clip there, they aren't going to back away from this racist attacks on the legal migrants. I suspect it's only going to get worse. We'll get to that later on in the clip. Let's start off with the election denialism by Corey, and then we'll definitely get to that immigration conversation. You don't want to miss that. If you end up getting anything from this video, please subscribe, like. I'd really appreciate it.
It's not relitigating. It's just a simple question. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? That's an easy
Jim,
one.
why are we talking about 2020 anymore? Does the American people care about the 2020 election anymore, or do they care about being able to put food on their table, gas in their car,
I
home
think
heating
one
oil
reason
in
why
their...
it's coming up, Corey, is because the former president has said on the campaign trail repeatedly that there was all this widespread fraud in 2020. That was not the case. And he's also teeing up the same kinds of challenges after this election. It hasn't even happened yet. So it is a very relevant
Jim, we
question.
know there was fraud. There's no question there was some fraud that took place in the 2020 election. There's no question about that.
No widespread fraud.
What does widespread mean, Jim? Is one vote that's illegal enough? Or how many do you determine is widespread? What is that number?
There were instances of voter fraud from Trump supporters. You know that from the 2020 campaign. But
and you're saying there was none on the other side, Jim?
I'm sure there was, but Corey, every expert, people from inside the Trump administration who have come out since then have said, no widespread voter fraud. And
but
I guess
what
the
does
question
widespread mean, Jim? Why are we focusing on 2024 is my question.
I guess what you're saying is that Donald Trump did not lose the 2020 election. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is Joe Biden is the president of the United States. You recognize that, and I recognize that. But let's talk about the 2024 election, which is less than 5 weeks away, and let's look at the two visions for America.
Will Donald Trump honor the results of the 2024 election? Will he do that?
Jim, did Hillary Clinton honor the results? No. Did Democrats honor the results?
Yes, she did. She called and conceded the election. Corey,
Jim,
I was with you guys on election night in Manhattan.
She said the election was stolen. She said there was Russian interference. Members of this network said that the Steele dossier was true.
She called the then president-elect and conceded the election.
Jim, why are we talking hypotheticals? Why are we talking about the policy matters that matter to the American people?
I know, but Corey, it's a simple
that have
question.
poured across this country.
Jim,
why are we talking about the 13,000 murderers who've been let into this country under the Biden-Harris-Walz administration?
You saw that right there. It's pretty simple. The reason he won't admit, right, that Trump lost fair and square is quite simple. You'll be out of the MAGA community. They will hate you, and your career is essentially over on the right. Or you'll have to completely rebrand yourself and hope for the best there. It's that simple. They're just gonna play dumb for big baby sore loser Trump. And like I mentioned earlier, they're already playing games in Georgia and trying to gum up the works there. They're trying to make it harder so that they have a final vote count on election day, so that they can honestly try to steal the election again. There's no other reason, right? They want to create doubt, want to create chaos, and this is where Trump thrives. We'll have to stay vigilant on that issue. There's going to be a lot of trickery for the next 30 days. Now let's get to this final clip of Corey Lewandowski. This is just, again, what could be said about this that wasn't already said? This is noxious, vile behavior, just plain racism. Let's get to that clip.
All this got started when Trump falsely claimed at last month's debate that Haitian migrants were eating pets. The governor of Ohio, the mayor of Springfield have both come out and said this is not true. Corey, can you say that Haitian migrants are not eating pets in Springfield? Can you say that?
You know what I can say, Jim? I can say that 13,099 murderers were let into this country, 16,000 rapists, 425,000 people in the last 4 years have been let into this country by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's own Customs and Border Protection that are running around this country, Jim.
The other thing, too, it's Kamala Harris.
Crimes.
I don't know. Why do you guys say Kamala? It's Kamala Harris.
Jim, we know that they're committing crimes against Americans. Why can't these individuals. Talk about the individuals who've been killed by illegal immigrants. 13,099 murderers have been let into this country by this administration's own accounting, and you guys don't want to talk about it. To put that in perspective,
Corey, we talk
for your
about
viewers,
immigration all the time.
Yeah,
we talk about this all the time.
Jim, admit that 13,099 murders have been let into this country. That's
Corey,
4 murderers for every single county in America. You don't think that that's a problem?
Border crossings are down and crime is down in this country. But
crime is not down in this country. The FBI
I asked you at the
lied,
beginning
Jim,
of this
you know
interview, did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? I just asked you whether Haitian migrants are eating dogs and cats in Springfield. You won't admit the truth on either of those questions. I
Jim,
want to ask you about something
admit that 13,000 murderers have come into the country? 13,000
number
murders.
Is false, by the way. The 13,000 number is false.
Why is it false?
I mean, I just want to say the reason I claim that 13,000 is a lie is because it was explicitly said that it was over multiple different administrations, including Trump's. So when you see that context, you see that they just want to attack immigrants. That's all this is about. It's twisting the facts to fearmonger about immigrants. And it's been shown over and over that immigrants, illegal ones or legal migrants, by far lower crimes are committed by them. By far, obviously, because they want to stay in this country. They're not going to commit crimes and they get the risk of being kicked out of the country. It's pretty obvious what's happening there, right? And again, can't admit about the cats and dogs because God forbid Trump looks like a fool, which everyone else, you guys look worse. That you can't just admit that he got tricked by someone and that person has been kicked out of the administration, you know? I mean, out of the staff, Trump and JD Vance campaign. But no, they just dig their heels in, right? And try to make it real. I mean, but let's be honest. What did you really expect from Corey Lewandowski, right? He's one of the worst of these people. But could you imagine Kamala saying any of these things? I mean, imagine Kamala saying this about white people or any race. Honestly, like it's hard to even fathom how the left will react because they would be completely outcasted. But this is their nominee, right? This is who they chose to be president. It's just absolutely insane. I mean, what can be said about these people that haven't already been said? They're just vile. We will continue to report on this and the nonsense, and hopefully, right, open some people's eyes out there or their ears and realize that they're being duped. Yeah. But please leave a comment on your thoughts on all this, and yeah, I'll see you on the next clip.